The movie opens with shots of the sky and news channels buzzing about a giant comet called Clark that's supposed to pass close to Earth. Scientists claim small fragments might enter the atmosphere but will harmlessly burn up. Next, we meet John Garrity, a structural engineer living in Atlanta. He's trying to make things right with his wife Allison after a rough patch in their marriage. They have a young son, Nathan, who's excited to watch the comet later that evening. John heads out to buy groceries. Inside the store, everyone's talking about the comet. Then his phone suddenly vibrates with an unusual alert from the Department of Homeland Security. It says that he and his family have been selected for emergency sheltering and must prepare to evacuate. Confused, he stares at the message as other shoppers carry on normally. Back home, Allison and neighbors are preparing for a little comet watching party. The TV news still insists that everything is safe. John doesn't mention the strange alert at first. When friends arrive, they all step outside, looking up at the bright streak in the sky. Then, in an instant, the sky flashes white. A blinding light races across the horizon, and seconds later a deafening explosion shakes the ground. Windows shatter, the shockwave rips through the neighborhood. Everyone ducks for cover. The news anchor, still live, struggles to speak. That fragment wasn't supposed to hit land, but it just destroyed Central Florida. Cities are gone. Panic spreads everywhere. People around John start getting alerts on their phones, but his is different, the one naming him for evacuation. Neighbors notice, begging to come along, but the system only recognizes John's family. Amid the shouting and fear, he grabs Allison and Nathan and drives off. On the way to the designated air base, traffic is jammed. Cars are honking, people screaming, emergency sirens blaring. Fighter jets roar overhead. Nathan, scared, clutches his insulin kit. He's diabetic, something that will soon become a major problem. After hours, they reach the heavily guarded airfield. Massive planes wait on the runway, loading selected families. At the gate, soldiers scan John's wristband code from the alert. They confirm the family but notice Nathan's insulin and ask about his condition. When John admits the boy has diabetes, the soldier hesitates and says medical conditions aren't cleared for transport. The officers escort them out. John pleads, but orders are orders. Within moments, chaos erupts as civilians break through barriers trying to get in. Soldiers fire warning shots to stop them. John is separated from Allison and Nathan in the crowd. Inside the base, alarms blare. The flight schedule is cancelled due to a security breach. The Garrity family is torn apart. John watches helplessly as planes take off without him, while Allison, clutching Nathan, runs for cover outside the gates. Exhausted and terrified, John realizes he has to find another way to reunite with them. The comet fragments are getting bigger, and time is running out. The scene picks up right after the chaos at the air base. John is surrounded by terrified people and blaring sirens. He looks everywhere for Allison and Nathan but can't find them. Military vehicles close the area, and crowds are forced to leave. Outside the base, Allison realizes John isn't with them. She hides with Nathan as the soldiers clear everyone out. She needs a phone to contact him, so she runs to a small store nearby. Inside, people are looting food, water, and medicine. She borrows a stranger's phone and calls John, but the line doesn't connect. Meanwhile, John helps an injured man during the panic. The man thanks him and drives him partway out of the base area. On the radio, John hears emergency updates. New fragments have entered the atmosphere, and another large piece will strike within 24 hours. He stops at a gas station to call Allison again. This time, she answers. They both shout through static, telling each other to meet at her father's house in Kentucky. The call drops just as another siren warns of new impacts. Later that night, Allison and Nathan get a ride from a friendly couple heading north. At first they seem kind, giving them food and a place in the back seat. But on the road, the driver's wife sees the special wristband on Nathan's arm, the same one that allows access to evacuation flights. She lies, claiming Nathan is her son, and tries to take him when they reach a military checkpoint. Allison fights back and escapes. Soldiers notice the confusion and detain the kidnappers, while Allison desperately searches the area for Nathan. After hours of walking, she finally finds him safe at a nearby field station where officers had kept him after the incident. The reunion is emotional but short. They still have to travel hundreds of miles. At the same time, John joins a family driving toward Canada. They plan to reach private flights heading to Greenland. During the journey, fragments fall from the sky, exploding in the distance. Highways are covered with abandoned cars, fires, and wreckage. At one checkpoint, John witnesses violence as people fight for limited fuel and food. He narrowly avoids being killed when another meteor fragment crashes nearby, sending a massive shockwave through the area. The family's truck flips, and John barely survives. Covered in dust, he walks through the night until he finds a small pickup and continues alone. Radio reports confirm that a planet-killing fragment called Clark 9 will impact in about 48 hours. By dawn, John finally reaches Allison's father's farm in Kentucky. Allison and Nathan are already there. When they see him walking toward the house, Allison runs to him, crying. After all the chaos, the family is finally reunited. Inside, her father explains that he's staying behind. He's too old to travel. He gives John his truck, supplies, and a map showing the route to Canada where small planes are flying to Greenland shelters. They say goodbye through tears as fragments streak across the night sky. The family drives away, knowing the biggest impact is still coming. Night has fallen at Allison's father's farm. John, Allison, and Nathan pack the truck with food, fuel, and a small bag of insulin. Outside, fireballs streak through the clouds. The old man watches them from the porch. He tells his daughter to go, that there's no more time. She hugs him tight one last time, and the family drives away into the burning sky. The highways are in ruins. Towns are half empty, lit only by the glow of falling fragments. Radio stations keep repeating the same countdown. The largest piece of the comet will hit Earth in less than a day. Every impact they pass shakes the ground harder. At a roadside stop, John overhears that some pilots are taking small planes from an airstrip in northern Canada to the Greenland shelters. It's their only chance. They keep driving north, barely sleeping, while meteors explode across the horizon. As dawn breaks, they reach the Canadian border. The bridges are destroyed, and hundreds of people wait, begging for space on the remaining aircraft. A military convoy passes, shouting that there's no more room. Still, John doesn't give up. He spots a small twin-engine plane being fueled by a man and his wife. He runs over, offering to help load fuel drums in exchange for 3 seats. The pilot hesitates but agrees. Moments later, the ground trembles again. A massive shockwave rolls through. Another fragment has struck far away, the blast visible even here. Everyone scrambles to board. The pilot yells that they have to take off right now. John grabs Nathan, Allison climbs aboard, and the engines roar to life. As the plane lifts off, another explosion fills the sky. The horizon burns red, cities below vanish under fire. The family holds hands silent, watching the destruction spread. They head toward the Arctic, hoping the rumors of underground shelters are true. The screen fades to black as the comet's main body finally hits Earth. The impact flash covers the entire atmosphere. Then everything goes quiet. Several months later, the radio comes alive with distant voices. "This is Greenland Base. Survivors, do you copy?" Static fades, replaced by birdsong. The bunker doors open, revealing a new world, dark, ash-covered, but still alive. John, Allison, and Nathan step outside. The camera pans over the wrecked landscape, broken cities, melted mountains, and finally, a few birds flying overhead. Humanity has survived. The family holds each other, standing together in silence as sunlight breaks through the dust clouds.